Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the Wrestler Review.
No, Dylan. No. We're doing the Sabu entrance because it's the Sabu episode, so we just say nothing and just cover our cameras for a bit. Yeah.
Whoa.
Who could it be? It's the person you expected in this moment. It was the weirdest thing that they did that for his entrance for a while.
Homicidal, suicidal, genocidal is kind of unnecessary.
Yeah, the homicidal is covered. Genocidal's covered under homicidal. It's like, he's bad. He's really bad. No, but seriously, you're not listening to me.
Yeah. He murders. He doesn't care if he dies. He's gonna gas the Kurds. It's Sabu. If I fucking find one of those goddamn Kurds.
Yeah, fuck me. Man, the Kurds really gotta be PO'd that they've been sidestepped by other groups being gassed. Because I haven't heard someone say don't gas the Kurds since about 2008. Am I wrong or am I wrong?
The problem is, John, is that the Holocaust happened and then people were like, wait a minute. Germany kind of got off pretty easy, didn't they? I guess we can do that too. Try high five. Now we live in that world.
I'm going to ask you to stop quoting from the meetings we have before the episode. That was a private discussion about stuff I want to branch the podcast into.
Oh, yeah,
right now,
but our Patreon.
Yeah, exactly. Get our Patreon, because right now, public-facing, we're a comedy wrestling podcast. Behind the Patreon wall, let's just say Dylan and I are trying to form a fascist government in Canada.
Let's just say that. All right. Everyone wants fascists that look like us. See-through men.
That's the thing with fascism. They need to stop going for such fit guys. Because if it was like coming from like a guy who it's like, yeah, he's had like 80 pretzels today. This guy's not going to do that.
Hey, I do really good at dieting till about 10 p.m. and I think I should run this country. Everyone's like, oh, that makes sense.
I don't know about the deficit. I don't like the deficit. But Burger King can suck my dick. I'm not going to make them close, but I am going to make them admit that they're not that great.
I got called out yesterday because someone I know has the A&W app on their phone. And I said, you have the fucking A&W app on your phone? And then a girl said, don't say that out loud. Why would you yell that out loud? Anyway, it was a girl with the A&W app on her phone, too. God, fascinating stuff.
That woman
that's more I'm in a relationship than a wedding ring, having a fast food app.
Well, no, it's either you are in a very happy, content, possibly a bit boring relationship, or you are down to clown. You have an A&W app? Yeah.
Oh, you mean you're having polyamorous sex?
Yeah, you're going to A&W to cruise. I need to find where the closest A&W is.
What's the fast food place with the longest wait line? I'm going to try and fuck someone in that line.
Yeah. You see all these fucking, out-of-shape dudes who are just here because for some reason their lunch is at 2 p.m. at this weird IT management center they all work at. I'm going to get one of them to fill me.
Yeah, I'm in Jersey Mike's for the cock.
Oh my God, do not put some fucking respect on your fucking tongue when you're talking about the JM, my friend. Jersey Mike's.
Or you can just go to an Italian lady. Any Italian lady will make you the craziest sandwich you've ever had.
This is the thing that people don't understand when they're like, oh, let's go to Quiznos. I'm like, no, you have to find an immigrant woman who has just access to dilly meats, and then she is going to make you. You're like, well, I work for you now, madam. That's what
Yeah, she doesn't even say yes. She just starts making you a sandwich. You want a sandwich? And then she goes like, cheese? No cheese. And you go, no cheese? And she goes, okay. And then it has like 7,000 ingredients.
Yeah, and it's the kind of place that if they ever do decide to reinvest money into the business, all they do is paint the dining area where you are not supposed to sit very white with very slick marble. Like they make it just look like a really nice spa bathroom in the 90s, not a restaurant at all. What are we doing here?
John, we're talking about Sabumafu. Oh,
yes,
wait,
we are talking
Sabu.
Oh my goodness. Oh, you absolute cad. You stung me.
I crushed you.
Oh my goodness. My cheek has been brushed by your glove.
So Sabu. Oh, so go for it.
I actually prefer to think of him as the rival of Usab, who was the guy that Paul Heyman brought in very briefly to make fun of Sabu when Sabu went to Japan. Pettiest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. It's ECW, you have no money, it's 1995, and you're spending money on extras so you can just be like, this is Usab, he's stupid like Sabu. Paul Heyman.
Yeah, once again, Paul Heyman is the guy that made out of ECW with the most money, and it is kind of like, we only like him because he's very good at his job, and if we were this age now, then we would be like, this guy's a fucking loser.
Paul Heyman, like Paul Heyman, ECW Paul Heyman, or Paul Heyman now is a loser? Because I think everyone now is
Paul
like,
Heyman ECW now is ECW is a loser, and then also Paul Heyman now isn't he have a fiance that's like in her 20s? This is via a social media post, so I'm not.
I don't know that that's true, but like yeah, here's
yeah.
the thing that people have to forget about wrestling: they're all fucked. Like they forget this. They act like it's like Disney World. It's like a soap opera, and it's like yeah, performed by people that are fucked. These are people that could have stopped by a comedy open mic and they could have learned to talk to people with mental illnesses. Professional wrestlers was like, I don't want to talk to those people. I effectively want to hug them for up to an hour a night while sweating in a gymnasium. Bring me to the Monster Factory, which is also what my dad calls his penis.
So, John,
Dylan,
Sabu and Taz don't touch for a year.
oh
Also,
God.
the implication here is because when Sabu no-showed ECW, Paul Heyman did such a huge long Barry job on him, it kind of does fuck with this entire story, no?
Completely. Well, the one thing I would like to say, and this is just from the absolutely in-depth research Christopher Hobson has provided us this week on Sabu. Now, this is a little peek behind the curtain. Dylan this podcast is going so well that Dylan, Hobson, and myself meet once a week on an oil derelict in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. People say Zoom would be cheaper, but I feel that that way I can't be trouserless. So,
yeah.
And he said he was going to be very busy this week, and so he's like, I'll just get you something quick for Sabu. 9 solid pages, week-by-week breakdown of when Sabu goes to Japan. This man... I'm going to say this, listeners. This man appreciates you guys way more than Dylan and I. Like, I refuse to read this. I won't read it. I'm not learning from this. I will regurgitate.
I can read the entire thing.
Yeah, I mean, it would be such a better podcast than the one we've been providing these many years.
No.
Yes.
No, we did that for
More
Death of the
informative.
Territories, and it was boring.
It was boring.
No, it was good. But anyway, yeah, it makes sense why him and Taz square off against each other, because when he did no-show, Taz was supposed to be his partner.
Absolutely. What's also very interesting is there is and this is the best ECW sort of plot lines, storylines have this through line of there's like a meta narrative to it, which is also Sabu is the innovator of all of this sort of stuff. He's the first guy going through tables, which I had no idea until he died, that he was the first guy to like jump through tables. He was like that was his gimmick for years, and he was constantly calling Dave Meltzer when other people started jumping through tables like, that's my gimmick. He's Duke the Dumpster Drosy, who just got arrested this weekend. Whoa. What do you think Duke the Dumpster Drosy got arrested for?
Domestic dispute.
No. Worse.
Okay.
Child porn.
No. He's going through that dumpster.
That's exactly what I said. I was like, man, throw this guy in the trash. No, he prefers it there. So what was I going to say? I was going to say this, which is, and so by the time you get Taz, Taz is an imitation of what Sabu really is. Taz is like not only am I a hooker, not only am I a shooter, my balls are so small I don't come. I have a tiny urethra. When I piss, it's mist, and when I come, it just goes like a man smoking. And that the meta narrative, this is so much more interesting if you watch this match being like, this is like an actual hardcore wrestler versus just professional wrestling. And then, ladies and gentlemen, that 1 year build is so fucking good. It is so fucking good. It's the only time. It's what makes Taz believable as the human suplex machine. He's wearing a 11-year-old girl's swimsuit as a signet, and he has the tiniest boots in the world. And everyone he associates with. No penis. There is never a risk. The widest taint I've ever seen on a human being. You could land a goddamn airplane betwixt his bowels and his asshole. Everyone towers over Taz, and he's the most intimidating person in the entire world because basically Paul Heyman's been like, hey, this wrestling place is full of crazy people. And there's one crazy person that's so crazy he's not here. And then there's only one person that's like, maybe he should be. And that's Taz. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, this is the interesting thing is that, like, it does make Sabu seem like a poontang pie because he's supposed to be the craziest guy in wrestling, and he's coming out in a Hannibal Lecter mask, and then he's like, oh, I can't fight Taz yet.
As usual, Dylan is not paying attention. Sabu prefers the fans in Japan. Paul Heyman tells us this a bunch of times, and he's sick and tired of performing for fucking American fans, so he's not coming back because you don't deserve him because he's the heel.
I just think that's a bad way to make him the heel. This is the thing, is this storyline gets so blown up, and it's like this storyline totally works if it's another character other than the homicidal, suicidal, let's gas a specific ethnicity Sabu.
Sort of. It does, like, look, he is, I disagree. How do I say this? I disagree completely, and you're totally wrong, and I want to punch you in the face. It works completely with Sabu because while Sabu is all of those titles, it's also like it's like indie wrestling. He's a three-dimensional character to these people because they literally see him smoking cigarettes immediately after his match as they're also smoking cigarettes. Like, it's not new to them, Terry Brunk being a weirdo, and it's also like this peek behind the curtain of like, he did it for more money. He's a business, like, as crazy as this sounds, fans, because he's got tape with his own name on his arm, but he's actually an entrepreneur. Like, the way I think Paul Heyman,
he's born into a wrestling family. It's not like the guys that Paulie takes advantage of for the most part. The guys who do like all the fucking work for him are all like non-wrestling natives who like Paulie gave their gimmick to and everything, like Taz, Dreamer, Bubba Ray.
That's true. Although it's very interesting. Dreamer is the one who gets the most taken advantage of. You see, like, Taz and Bubba Ray both like jump off that ship in the same way. Like, we have to relate everything back to stand-up comedy, but in that same way, when a club stops paying people, there's the person who just immediately stops playing the club. There's the person who I always am, which is I do the club once, they don't pay me or don't pay me promptly, then I stop doing the club, and then there's my personal favorite, the guy who just keeps doing the club, racking up a massive debt with a guy who's not going to pay him, and acts like he's going to get that money one day, even though we know he's not. Wow.
Yeah.
Dylan.
Yes.
Do you find it weird that Sabu, for such a big match, wore green trousers? That's always that's my first big takeaway from this match. Wouldn't you wear something more intimidating? A black, perhaps?
There's some stuff that I didn't like about this, which is this is very nitpicky, but whatever.
Oh, we should say which match we're doing. It's the grudge match at Barely Legal in 1997.
It's the grudge match at Barely Legal, Sabu and Taz. The fact that Taz gets a full entrance and Sabu just comes out.
Well, this is the thing. This is what
like,
I was alluding to.
It's supposed to be the big fight feel.
Yeah, but it's also
there's no even like lights out, lights on. That would be an entrance if it was lights out and then lights on. That would be an entrance.
That they weren't able to do that, and they only figured that out as they were supposed to do Sabu's entrance. Like, I have a feeling like that entrance always felt to me where it's like we had something big planned and then we did not have the budget for it. You know what I mean? Like, it had the real feel of like, who was in charge of getting that entrance ready? Sabu was. Oh, fuck. Like, you know, one of those things, you know, when you discover someone else put the wrong person in charge of a thing, and now it's just like, look, I'm in a position where I can't fix this, so I'm just going to allow nothing to happen.
It's just like Taz gets this huge long entrance. It reeks of like, who's going to win this match? Well, Shawn Michaels came down on a zip line, and Bret Hart has a bigger glasses, you know?
Yeah.
That was always Bret's note about the Iron Man match. Oh, who's going to win? The guy who came out on the zip line, or the guy who's like, look at this, his boots are a different color, kind of, but not at all.
I used to wear a leather jacket, and now this is actually vegan leather. I said it was pleather, but they corrected me. It's two different things, evidently.
Yeah, it's actually a worse jacket than I usually wear.
Yeah, no, They didn't let me dress in the dressing room. I had to dress, quote unquote, in a glass box while Linda McMahon ate a full Cobb salad.
The crowd is. I looked. There are no women.
There are no women on the block where this building was located.
I just imagine telling it like, honey, I wouldn't be like, honey, I'm going to see wrestling. I'd be like, honey, I'm going to see a men's play.
Do you understand that if you just got in the ring and asked that crowd, I need some solution to weird bugs in my bathroom, every hand is going up, and all of those solutions are done using implements that are near your computer. Like, it's just
crush them with your mouse.
Yeah, just tell them about all the times you struck out with babes. They'll commit suicide.
Well, this is the thing about watching this is the, I guess what you would say is the what the people would say the stereotype of an ECW fan would be that's like someone even fatter than me, but the people in the crowd are like there's just like regularly, I don't know, I assume everyone got broken up with or divorced and then was shown ECW, and that's what they clung to for sanity.
No, because you don't understand. The East Coast of the United States also has, because of like Long Island and all these cities have like 8 preppy suburbs, and then like New Jersey, because of the Sopranos, and New York City's like, New Jersey, it's a piece of shit, but that's just Newark. And then the rest of the state is like a giant Mississauga, just filled with preppy dudes, and a portion of those preppy dudes' parents are a dentist and a woman who wants to have affairs. So they're like, yeah, get on a bus to Philadelphia and go watch a man named Steven. I don't give a shit. I'm trying to get blown by a podiatrist. Noah. That's what I always take away, is like, there are so many people at an ECW show who ended up, I assume, almost committing suicide during the 2008 crash. They are 16 at Barely Legal. They are 26, heavily investing Lehman Brothers into the housing market. That crashes. They're like, oh, I'm probably going to go to jail. EC-dub, EC-dub, EC-dub.
EC-dub, I'm going to kill myself.
What's that? Barack Obama is he's the Sabu of the situation, and he's going to Arabian facebuster American citizens in favor of the banks. EC-dub, EC-dub, EC-dub. And now that guy, like, owns a lot of Palantir stock and unironically drives a Tesla. And really overpronounces Sabu. I was so sad to hear the passing of Terry Brunk. Sabu.
So they do a big thing in the first, which is Sabu blocks the Taz mission. They say no one's ever blocked the Taz mission, which is such a small moment, and they make a big moment out of it in commentary, but nobody watching it is like, whoa. They just see it happen. They go, all right.
Yeah, like, no, because there's why isn't there someone showing us her tits? Can I just say this about Joey Styles? A exceptional play-by-play man. Like, just the unsung hero of ECW is Joey Styles. Like, he makes this match, he reacts to everything, calling everything a Tazplex. Anyone else doing it would be annoying as fuck, and I love that he does it. It's just good stuff. He's literally shocked at everything Sabu does. Oh my god, he's tying up his boots in the locker room 2 hours before the pay-per-view starts. My God, it's so fucking fun.
And I mean, you get all the Sabu classics here. You get the double jump plancha. Also, like, just the way Sabu just fucking flings his body at people.
That's the thing. Also, the chair throw never gets old for me. There's just
the chair throw is nuts. Seeing him do it later on is nuts. Just a fucking chair throw. It's amazing.
Seeing him do it to John Cena, where you just know Vince McMahon's in the back being like, if he fucks up his nose, I will.
Well, he already fucked his eye up,
Mumbai.
Right? I mean, we'll talk about that.
Well, yeah, but spoiler alert. Jesus.
Throwing the chair, just flinging himself at people. The thing that's so exciting about Sabu that is more exciting about him, I mean, the Young Bucks are exciting, but the Young Bucks always do everything perfectly, and Sabu always almost commits suicide. Like, he always almost dies. Yes.
What's even crazier about Sabu is that that's like, RVD did it was like a book or a long interview RVD did just about, like, the behind-the-scenes psychology of wrestling and selling, and RVD was trained by Sabu and the Sheik, so they're doing the same thing. And RVD talked about Sabu intentionally would, like, slightly fuck shit up, so it implied A, he got scared midair, or B, like, this isn't perfect, like, and as a result, it feels so much more fucking exciting. Also, like, there's just something about the way that guy runs where you're just like, okay, everyone else is, like, trying to maybe protect their head. This fucking guy, as he's hitting the ropes, has handcuffed his hands behind his back and just requested they put a bunch of piranhas on the ground so that I know that they're going to be, like, dying in the oxygen, but as their, like, last breath, they can bite him a couple of times while he's just trying to sell.
Yeah, and just, like, the fact... just there's so much stuff about it. Anyway... Alfonso starts cheering Sabu on.
No, he does not start. He starts cheering Taz on, you little bitch. You little rascal.
No.
Yes. Which part of the match are you talking about? Alfonso's with Taz until the very end. It's the famous switch.
No, but he cheers on Sabu. There's a point where Sabu's on the floor after Taz dumps him. So there's the spot where Sabu's going to try and DDT him. Then he dumps him on the floor, and then he starts cheering on Sabu.
And but Joey Styles is like, he wants him.
He's taunting him, and it's like, no, he's cheering him on. And I guess the entire post-match thing is just trying to get Sabu's heat back. Like, I feel like if you had the budget of WWE now, this would be like a really cinematic, that's the word they use, cinematic turn where they would focus in on everyone's face and you could see them really like act it. So I think that, but just because like they don't have many cameras in ECW, when you see Sabu, we don't really see Sabu reacting to the fact that any of the post-match stuff. I guess I'm jumping ahead here, but yeah.
That's fine. If someone is listening to this show and they haven't watched the Sabu Taz match from Barely Legal 1997, they are not enjoying this. They are literally just, I'm angry.
Sometimes. I mean, I'll listen to full watch-alongs of MMA fights I've never seen and just listen to them talk about it. And they don't even be like, they threw a jab. They just go like, fuck, this sucks. Like, that's all. Like, these guys are tired.
I do not really care about MMA. I cannot get enough of MMA listicles. Top 10 craziest entrances, let's fucking go. Top 10 things you don't remember happening during Conor McGregor press conferences that weren't Conor. Put it in my asshole. There's just UFC lore. I just want one person to point out to Sean Strickland that he's in fact an influencer. I don't know if you've seen, but he's now just developing a beer gut, wearing an American flag signet in a training octagon, inviting influencers to come over, and then he full beats them up while being an influencer. It's really good.
Once again, we've discussed this. He's always been doing this. It's just now he's doing it to influencers. He beat the shit out of a Navy SEAL really badly once before he was anything. He trains hard, and you know what else about him? He's a white nationalist, that's fine.
Here's the one
that's
thing.
Fine now.
Southern California, yeah. If you go right wing in Southern California, you go all the fucking way because it's too nice here. Like, it's just, there's something about the weather where you're just like, you know what? I'm going extreme.
I'm going ECW.
Yeah. I love this match. This match is fantastic. It is the best use of Taz ever. Sabu he's good compared to the other matches we're now going to watch for the Sabu edition, the memorial. Yeah, we're watching Sabu's memorial. So this is Sabu's memorial episode of the Wrestler Review. He said what he wanted. I'll give the eulogy. That guy partied. This is his one good match. We're now going to watch two matches. We've already now watched two matches that are, let's say it together, not great. Go ahead.
I think the Cena match was fine, but the head and arm Tazplex is amazing. Oh, yeah. All of the ways that he does suplexes Taz really do like accentuate, like to put context on what Taz does in the like late 90s. It's like no one in America had done this, and the Japanese wrestlers had done it, but like it wasn't like their whole thing. And calling someone the human suplex machine and then having their finisher be a choke instead of a sleeper is like, Taz's whole character is so genius. Everyone else here is here because they use weapons in fights. I'm here because I got kicked out of judo tournaments for choking people unconscious. Like, I am an outlaw fighter who's too angry and da-da-da-da-da-da. It would work way better if he had just showed up and hadn't been the Tasmaniac for a while. Or he was like, he did learn the English language and then remembered that he's actually a cage fighter. But
yeah,
I mean, watch the suplex.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yes, watch the suplexes from this fight. From this real fight. Watch the suplexes.
Unprepared fight.
Watch how Sabu lands on the back of his shoulders. Everything looks amazing. Things like he has like 4 suplexes that just look like finishing moves. The thing I will say about Taz is because he's the suplex machine, it was more quantity than quality, because there is some super funny ones where it's like, here's the head and arm Tazplex, that looks like he dies. I forget what the other one is.
Northern Lights Tazplex like is a real motherfucker, but then there's a belly to belly where it's like, oh, a belly to belly spinning. He dropped him. I don't know what to fucking do.
Well, that's the thing about Taz. Taz is like the actual version, I guess, of Sabu, where it's like, oh yeah, sometimes you just can't really lift him.
Yeah, I mean, in the same way that Sabu's thing is like, sometimes you're not going to hit that table, so you'll hit a piece of that table. Like, it's kind of like, yeah, like there is a real, how do I say this? It's interesting the damage you do to children. And Ed Farhat fucked up Sabu's brain by keeping kayfabe inside his own goddamn house that 25, 30 years later, I'm watching a man in a white suit near murder himself near a very annoying millennial. Talking about Dylan. I love this match. I love Sabu. Sabu is great. Best entrance theme music ever. Sing it with me now. Boom, 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 boom.
which we don't get to hear in this one. More notes. Here's some more notes. I didn't like how, like, obviously the Michaels versus Kurt Angle, half the match is that ankle lock, but I just didn't like how it's like Sabu gets choked, he's done now. But I mean, maybe that's the whole thing of, hey, but it's the Taz mission. Once it's locked in, he's dead.
I'm glad you made this point because it reminded me of something I wanted to say. I remember reading, because how you got ECW information in Canada, in Ottawa in 1997 is you read PW Insider or PW Pro Wrestling Illustrated and went from there. And I remember just reading the breakdown of this match at the end. And when the turn happened, I was like, oh, that's so cool. There's something about the idea that that they had a turn happen even though he won, like Taz won. For me, I always just think this turn is great. I know you don't love it. That Bill Alfonso, they bet on Sabu.
I just think it makes no sense.
I disagree. How about that, fucker? Because what doesn't make sense about you? Bill Alfonso is a weird S&M man who smokes a bunch of cigarettes and owes some money to some people on the bad side of town. He made a bad bet. Now he's got to switch sides, and he's got to work with a drug-addicted man in baggy pants and a stoner from Detroit, inexplicably. What doesn't make sense about that, Dylan? Name one thing that's
You
weird.
get mad at the person. Every single gambler, when they lose, they don't get mad at the team that won. They get mad at the team that lost. You get mad at the guy who lost.
Yeah, but Bill Alfonso.
Why is he also in, like even beyond pro wrestling logic, why is he showing up with a Sabu shirt underneath, and why wouldn't he just interfere in the fucking match trying to help Sabu, and then when it doesn't work and Taz gets in his face, that's when Rob Van Dam comes in. Whatever. I don't understand. Like, I totally get Fonzie turning on him, just maybe save it for another time because he's scared or something. Or don't have the shirt on him. Just go like, hey, look, you guys are going to beat me up? I'll fucking kick Taz. And they're like, hey, we need a manager anyway. And then Taz is pissed.
As I always took the ending, it was the idea that Bill Alfonso was turning on Taz anyway, and he just assumed Sabu was going to beat him. And how dare Taz make Bill Alfonso wrong? That was the logic implied, that like, yeah, it's stupid that Bill Alfonso's blaming the person that won, but it's also he bet on Sabu, so he's just like, I got it.
Which is the advantage. Sorry,
I do agree with the T-shirt thing. The T-shirt thing does defy the logic a little bit of it, but it also, there's something about just from a brass tacks organizing how you structure building bigger stars in a wrestling company, they had to make a big conclusive ending to this feud. It's the match. It's the grudge match of the century. It was part of the double main event of this pay-per-view, and yet it went like fourth, whatever. But you understand, like they needed, you are right. They probably should have done the turn later, but there was also no other time to kind of do the turn because you needed to get Sabu and Taz away from each other, because to do a turn would result in another match. But by doing this, Sabu and RVD go off as a tag team with Fonzie for a little bit, and Taz gets embroiled in the triple threat receipt nonsense, and then Sabu's brought back in and breaks his jaw. So yeah, my whole point kind of is flawed. But
well, no, Sabu beats Taz after this, pinning him because he jumps off the ropes, or like he presses off the ropes and pins him when he's in the Taz mission. That's like the next match.
Yes, that's right. And then Sabu takes the belt off of Terry Funk.
It's a new
champion. Yeah,
layer of the story, but you can just do it in a different way. But I get that you wanted to have an angle at Barely Legal, but it's just, to me, it's dumb. But like the way that they act, the original thing where like he shakes hands with Taz, and then RVD basically comes in and hits Taz in the back of the head. And then Sabu gives them the little thing of like, what the fuck are you doing? I just shook this guy's hand. And instead of turning on RVD, Taz gets up and basically, then Sabu's like, all right, well, we have to beat the shit out of this guy now because he's not going to believe I didn't orchestrate this. So now so I get that part. And then it's like, you got to beat the shit out of him. And then he can fight with RVD, which he always does. He's like, obviously that's like their whole tag together is like RVD being a dick and then Sabu arguing with RVD. That's the entire thing. To me, this also is like, as far as the face of ECW, I think because the company was so much healthier when this was happening, people look back really fondly on Taz. But I think as far as the best star ECW ever had, it's 180% Rob Van Dam. Like the TV
Wrong.
title Rob Van
As
Dam
usual.
run is he's
As
like
usual, Dylan,
such
you're
a
smoking
reason to
crack.
buy a ticket rather than like check it out. This Italian guy is gonna pretend he does UFC.
Put some fucking respect in your mouth when you're talking about Tommy Rich. I think you've forgotten about a little ECW superstar. 3 names: Mikey Whipwreck. No, you're absolutely correct. RVD is. Rob Van Dam would have been amazing because also if ECW had transitioned into basically being Ring of Honor, which Paul Heyman has said a million times is what he would have done. I don't know if I believe him, but that's what he claims. RVD would have thrived amazingly in that. Or if they had just doubled down and been like, yo, we're going to kill a guy. He would have also been amazing in that version of the company. You're completely correct. I don't think Sabu gets the credit he deserves. Like I always thought of New Jack as being the Undertaker of ECW, but I actually think they should have positioned Sabu to be that. He's just like, here's the thing with the Atomic Arabian Facebuster, not to be confused with the Arabian Facebuster. Difference is going off the ropes. I looked it up. He didn't need to do matches. Honestly, the best use of Sabu for me is you just Sally Graciano's in the ring talking about, what he doesn't give me a sandwich, I'm gonna piss. Lights out.
So he's like the new 911.
Exactly. He's pointing at this guy, throws a chair at him. The fat guy falls through the ropes, lands in a bunch of pie that's there for some reason. Cream pie, too. Very funny. Sabu jumps off the ropes, Atomic Arabian Facebuster in the cream pie. Hit the music. Come on. What else do you want?
Yeah, I mean, the final thing I'll say is that my favorite aspect of Taz's character is even when he's getting beaten down, he still tries to fight and never stops. Like, they're doing the, like, here's why I turned on Taz promo, and then you just see a chair fly in the ring because Taz is, like, you know, he's got enough of his druthers and he's not unconscious enough to, like, grab something and throw it, and, like, he just never accepting being beaten down. And there's so much like, obviously I think the interesting thing about Sabu and the important thing and why I think this is the most important match on Barely Legal is because these guys aren't tainted by Sabu was in WWF and WCW, but he got wins and he left.
Well, man, it was a weird WWF run at this point. Like, at this point, no, he wasn't.
No, he was on Raw leading up to Barely Legal.
Yeah, he was like, I was about to say.
That's what I mean, though. It's like he was only wrestling ECW and showcase matches, and then he was in WCW, yes, and he had a couple matches where the Sheik was his manager, but he won all those matches. So these aren't like, Sabu didn't like play a guy who races cars and then come into and then he had to do the whole promo like, that's who I pretended to be. I'm actually from India.
Yeah.
But
have to be Man Mountain Rock. Actually, my name's Chris.
And Taz is the other one where it's like the weird fucking gimmick that he did before being the Human Suplex Machine was something he did on the indies. So they don't have the taint of the major 2 companies. So it's like, this is like a very unique ECW match, you know, versus what was the other main event again? Was it Terry Funk?
Well, no, the other main event is the most convoluted thing ever, which is the triple threat leading to the winner faces Raven. Which just put a Terry Funk Raven, Paul. You overbooking ass.
But that's what I mean, though. Terry Funk is Johnny Flamingo, and Terry Funk is like an old guy, and Raven is, you know, Scotty Flamingo.
He's Johnny Polo to me.
Johnny Polo, Scotty Flamingo. Like, he played 2 of the same character in WCW and WWF, and it was both like a rich snob. So, like, you know, that main event has the taint of like, these are ex-WWE guys, ex-WCW guys. This other guy's 700 years old, and he won the fucking title literally in the 70s versus, you know, halfway through the card you get the real unique ECW matches. Anyway, enough about that match that was good and in some way satisfying. Here's a match where they have the opportunity to give Sabu a 2-year run, I would say, as a solid character in WWE. They really need new characters, but instead, John Cena, I forgot about this, the soldier John Cena, not Word Life John Cena, the soldier, the man who loves America and hates the French.
A man who does a lot of saluting to it going into his finishing maneuvers.
And he doesn't salute like this.
No.
He salutes like this.
Because he's a Marine, you fuck. He's the Marine.
Oh, yeah, he's the Marine.
It's funny. When do you think is the most Super Cena era? This is where I put it at the most Super Cena era, where it's literally like, he goes in the ring, he reads a newspaper, 8 men are murdered in front of him, and he goes, I'm the champ. Champ is here or whatever.
I think actually it's in a couple years. is the
Yeah,
most
the
Super
egregious
Cena
one
era.
is 2000, the beginning in 2011. But I remember because listen, this is when John's in old what am I? Yeah, I'm still in college at this point, so I'm watching a lot of wrestling solo in my apartment near Concordia University. Oh yeah, and this I liked. Still liked John Cena. Me and my two wrestling friends that we would converse. We would converse over MSN Messenger, but we were starting to be like, I'm a little sick of Cena.
Oh yeah.
So I think
Well, I mean, I
this is
remember.
the beginning.
So just to give you time, this is June 25th, 2006. You've seen this is the last Jim Ross Performance Center class. This is Cena, Batista, Orton, Lesnar's gone. But there's your fucking three amigos for the new millennium.
Yeah, this is your odds, fucko. This is
these are your odds, boys.
This is directly after ECW One Night Stand 2. The best thing about the WWE. We're only doing this one time twice. Do not think you'll ever see this again, except for the other time you'll see it.
Well, they go to a full ECW relaunch.
Yeah,
and
baby.
Cena needs to get his heat back after the worst world title win for a title winner I've ever seen other than Chris Jericho, where John Cena beats up Rob Van Dam at One Night Stand 2 for 25 minutes. Edge spears him, and then 5-star frog splash, and RVD's the champ. Oh, no one gives a shit.
No, this isn't real. I don't care if it's real. Maybe it's not fucking real to you, but right now it's real to me. I'm going to fucking kill John Cena, and then I'm going to kiss Dawn Marie. I don't think she's here this year. Well, you better fucking find her, because I'm going to fucking kiss her after I fucking kill John Cena.
6 years I haven't nutted, and now I will nut.
Yeah. If you don't do that, I'm going to form something called an incel. You don't know what that is yet, but it'll be very irritating.
The ECW guys all get an intro. They're all in ECW shirts. New ECW shirts. And except for who? Amish Roadkill. Amish Roadkill still dressed as an Amish guy.
Did not know Amish Roadkill made it to WWE ECW. The thing I want to just say is it is just don't do this. First of all, this is one of 2 appearances by the Sandman. God, that guy looks bad, but he's looked about that bad for 30 years, which is impressive. Like, you're like, whoa, that guy's going to die. And it's like, well, no, he hasn't died yet.
Well, to look at the Sandman, though, look at all these other guys. It's like, they got Al Snow. Like, this is the thing. It's like Al Snow, Stevie Richards is out there. These are all WWE guys that people have seen for years. And it's like, so you need to get the ECW guys who didn't have the first time, and the Sandman's one of them, and the Sandman looks scarier than all these motherfuckers. Like, Al Snow is big, yeah, but I mean, Al Snow just still looks like the assistant coach on his kid's football team. Sandman looks like he'll fucking kill you for a gambling debt that is not real. He's in cocaine psychosis, and he's invented it.
What the thing also is that people don't get about ECW for like elder millennials, which Dylan and I are, is a bunch of the wrestlers mirrored enemies and interactions we had with adults. Sandman was the drunken stepdad who's shitty the wrestler. Like, you could be like, listen, I'm going to root for this guy because sometimes he leaves his porno magazines out and we get to look at those. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. Like, I don't like this guy because he'll have 8 beers on a Saturday afternoon and start talking about how we leave the goddamn lights on in his goddamn house, even though I'm not in his goddamn house, but he left a bunch of hustlers just on his driveway, so he's pretty cool.
They all get a short entrance. Also, Sabu gets a short entrance, and then I think it's just like how to subtly make it clear that other people are less important, where it's like when they come out, first of all the Raw guys are lower mid-card, and traditionally you do the first Lumberjacks, the second Lumberjack, then the competitors, but they have ECW Lumberjacks, Sabu, Raw Lumberjacks, Cena.
What a difference, the fucking Lumberjacks. You get like the A squad of ECW, and then you're like,
dude,
who the fuck are these guys?
Cade and Murdoch with Viscera, with I Want Pussy Viscera.
Yeah,
Viscera, if any of them get it out, it's gonna fucking come in their asses.
Yeah. This is Viscera in the period, to sum up Teddy Long saying on a shoot interview he would buy Cialis from Teddy Long. Why Teddy Long was selling Cialis, I'll never know. And just sit in the locker room with a big boner. Whatever, Viss. Whatever, bro. Viscera, by the way, saves this match. They fuck up a spot at the end, and Viscera, like, literally comes over, repositions a guy, so that the spot of Cena catching Sabu on the table and whatever happens, it's kind of amazing. It's the only time where I'm like, oh, I guess that's why Viscera was with this company for fucking 40 years, even though he gave like 8 people injuries that I didn't even know were possible.
I mean, yeah, I mean, he makes sense. John Cena comes out here, and you think John Cena is in great shape now? Holy fuck! Holy fuck!
Let me
the
say
most
this right
juiced
now.
man I've ever seen, and steroids.
Absolutely not. Prove that he's on steroids. Prove it.
Except sorry,
I
actually,
can do it
he's
with
not.
my eyes. I can do it like just like no human being.
It's fucking crazy. His waist is like an inch, and then his back is just what it's fucking looking. And you don't think see John Cena now, and you think well, that guy's not muscular, but then you see John Cena like 20 years ago, and you're like, holy fuck, I'm gonna shoot.
Let me ask you this, hot boy. Do you think John Cena is wearing headphones while having one night stand sex? Here's what I'm saying. Almost assuredly. And we're talking not even ear pods, so it's subtle. Big Bluetooth headphones.
I think it's just
And it's his theme song. He is listening to that.
Oh, I thought it was just other times he's had sex, but it's only him making a noise.
No, that's the video that's playing. My God.
The video is him having sex, and what's on the headphones is him making noise.
So I don't know if you know this, but Leonardo DiCaprio hands all the babes he splooshes in an NDA.
That's good.
And here's the thing that I wanted, and I know that this person exists in LA because LA rules, is I want to find the lady who went, I'm not signing that and just left, because I know that he still thinks about her. And I know that she's like, I did it on purpose. I really wanted to bang him, but this is better. And that woman is a hero.
That's like, I don't know if this is like the whole Jeter thing, the whole Derek Jeter, you get a jersey and he has like a loot bag.
I've heard that. The best one is George Clooney's just, he takes you to his villa in Italy, and he's like, nah, but you can stay here for like a month. And they're like, what? And he's like, yeah.
And then he has sex with a man.
Yeah, and then he sleeps with a full man in front of him. And here's what I'll be doing while you're here. For the whole month, well, not the whole time. Sometimes they'll need Gatorade, but a lot of the time, like a lot of it.
Here's what George Clooney does. You're a girl, you come back to his place, you think we're going to hook up. Then he opens out a closet full of men in ball gags, and he says, pick one. And then he fucks their pooey ass. Will you eat a nice Eggs Benedict?
Is Richard Kind there? The answer is much more complicated than you'd expect.
Here's what I like about Sabu's entire moveset is there's always a modification that makes it a Sabu move. Like when he does a leg drop, it's a jumping up leg drop where he'll jump to the side of the ropes, jumps on the turnbuckle, then do the leg drop.
Oh, that's the best.
The chair thing. I think they could have really reused and really rejuvenated like they could have just been like, yeah, we signed this guy because we really wanted to. You just steal the WCW Raven gimmick. We signed this guy because we really wanted to, but every match he does is no holds barred.
I completely agree with you. I also think that the thing that they needed to do with ECW was sort of counterintuitive, is they needed to separate it from the WWE completely and just have it be sort of an island unto itself.
Yeah, of course.
That occasionally interferes with the mothership. Like it's this thing of like Vince McMahon got tricked by Paul Heyman for bringing this back. So he's banning all ECW wrestlers from like WWE events. Like literally, I never understood what it's like. We're going to run it and just our things where it's like, go just get the ECW arena and just use that as the place and route them in and out and just have them in there and block shoot the TV and stuff like that, because it just, ECW only works in a dingy, weird environment. As soon as it's in a slick arena, it's like, we're being so edgy here at the farmer's market. He didn't compliment the person selling candles twice. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, he's having free samples and not asking the farmers about their day. Like, it's just like, all right, fuck off.
Yeah, it is kind of like the 40-year-old being like, see, I still do edgy stuff. Like, check this out. You ever heard of fucking Good Charlotte?
Like, the way that they should have done this match is it actually should have been a match between Edge and John Cena, and Sabu was just consistently and constantly interfering. Like, there should, like...
Okay, that's fair.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't need Sabu to have a match. You don't need Sabu to get his heat back. Because here's what I'm looking for from Sabu. I want him to fucking throw a chair at someone's head. I don't give a fuck if he just lost a match. You know what I mean? Like, it's just it's in the same way the Undertaker's like, oh, he lost a match. I don't give a shit. I want to hear the bongy bong 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 noise. You know what I mean? Like,
I think it's fair that like the guy who is your whole company beats Sabu, who's coming in, and it's a classic like something
I
his
agree,
fucking
but
uncle did, where he comes in, here's a crazy guy, now the man who loves Christ, the soldier of truth and justice, John Cena, who also
I'm not
loves
in this
rap,
match.
is going to beat him. I think that's totally fair, but then if you want to keep him around, which, I mean, Sabu got caught in the car smoking weed with Van Damme, so they had plays to keep him around, I think. But then, yeah, you just have him beat the guy who has the Intercontinental title. Also, with the fact that he's doing these fucking moves and that's the other thing is, looking at it now, it's still innovative, all the shit he's doing in wrestling. And it's like, he's still, like, what he does is still innovative back then. So obviously that shit would have got over, because you hear he gets like no cheers, nothing during, like, it's pretty dead for his entrance, but people are still going, like, you can hear the crowd like oohing and awing when he's doing his fucking crazy triple jump moonsault.
Well, the match is fucking weird. Imagine being that crowd and you're like, why is it it's also never explained why it's a lumberjack match. Also, the Raw Lumberjacks would be so confusing. You're like, because they're all heels that are with John Cena. You see John Cena trying to get his psychology back because he celebrates by being on the other side of the ring, like, oh, golly gee, that was a tough one for old Johnny boy. Well, like the ECW wrestlers walk out. I don't know. This whole match left a bad taste in my mouth.
I mean, no. Well, here's the worst part is, like, everything else was fine. I think everything else was fine, but he FUs Sabu onto the table, and then here's the thing that absolutely assassinates the Sabu character is he puts him in the STFU and Sabu taps out immediately.
Yeah, I mean, that didn't. Yeah,
having him pass out keeps the character, but like when your character is like, I'm fucking crazy and I'll kill myself just to hurt you, and then you're like, my chin. Oh no! I mean, have I fallen onto nails from 30 feet in the air? Yes, but my chin.
Here's the problem that you have in front of you is there's no way Vince McMahon is going to let him put that on an unconscious man, because that would technically be a heel maneuver. But I think the way to do it is you have to go.
Oh, I thought you were making a Janelle Grant joke. I thought you were going there. I thought you were like, there's no way that he thinks that choking someone unconscious is a heel thing. He thinks that.
Yeah, he's like, that's a face. That's you've gotten your heat back. You've choked.
Oh.
Shit on it. Okay, so no, but here's the problem that he has is that the choking out an unconscious man is technically a heel maneuver, as Vince McMahon had to have that explained to him like 80 times, and they're like, no, you can't do it. That's a back, but you stab your friend in the back. No, that's also a bad guy move. Explain to me why that's bad. You get to use your knife. That's fun. Where was I? Being hilarious? No. And the situation that we find ourselves in, fuck me. I know where my point is. It's right here.
I'll talk, and then maybe you'll figure it out.
I got my point. Shut the fuck up.
There you go. There you go. The voice of another person one side, once again, jogged your memory.
It's this. So the only way to do this properly with him using the STF as the finisher is Sabu's knocked out by the table shot. Like, oh my God, Sabu landed on his head. He's dead. John Cena puts the choke on him. Puts the thing on, and the referee waves it because he's unconscious is the only way to do it. But instead, like, that would be a heel thing probably, or some weird thing, or it's like it makes Sabu too powerful, so they have to do it this way. And it was also, remember, it's 2006. We're entering the era where Vince McMahon doesn't think wins or losses really matter. This is the 50-50 weird, insane, 50-50 unless you're Triple H or John Cena era.
Yeah, 50-50 unless you have input.
Yeah, 50-50 unless you have the personal mobile number of one of the boss's kids in your phone, and then guess what? You get to win every match. Sorry, RVD.
Yeah, also, like, very clearly, Vince McMahon didn't give a shit about this, and also didn't want to build up ECW, so it is what it is.
It's the stupidest missed
now
opportunity.
I'm going to go tinkle my dick hole. And
man, we've done 51 mins on 2 matches, and we're only getting to the actual good match. We're only getting to the match where, I'm going to say it, step aside, Flair Steamboat. Get on the fucking
I can't
bench.
wait to look at something that he did suspiciously close to his own death. Oh, we skipped over Hobson's notes on Cena. Oh, so here we go. Here's one. Sabu pissed off Vince, who was walking Sabu through the spot, asking if he was sure he would make the table. Vince said he'd once attempted it and had busted his ass. And then Sabu said, "But that's you," while laughing. "My ass will be fine." It was an attempt to make Vince laugh and forge a good relationship, but it completely backfired.
Yeah, Vince doesn't like jokes that involve him not winning. To get Vince to win that, it would have been like, you're right, Vince. If you can't do it, no one can do it. And then Vince would be like, correct. And then you just laugh, and then Vince is like, this fucking guy gets it.
That 5 years ago, that would have gotten Vince McMahon to laugh, but like he's whatever analogy of whatever dictator has seized next country over. He is now like, oh yeah, if you couldn't make it, Vince, then I definitely couldn't. Can I suck Shane's dick just for the taste? I know he's not gay. I just want to taste what your second. I know I can't suck your dick. I'm not good enough yet. But can I suck your son's dick?
Vince, can I give you $100? Oh, this guy's the best. This guy knows how to do it. This guy's great.
He knows that I need $100, so he doesn't have it. I have it. He's just. I have it. It's mine.
I like to smell it. I put it in my mouth sometimes. People say you shouldn't put paper money in your mouth, but I gotta tell you, nothing's more of a thrill than just having a bunch of tightly folded 20s in your mouth.
All right, I'm gonna piss.
I'm gonna shit right here on camera. Go. I drink all my coffees. What's your little treat? What's your little treat, pal?
It's a birthday cake protein bar.
Fuck yeah, man. Fucking get a henchman.
Have you ever had a real chocolate bar?
Have I ever had a real chocolate bar?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not a fucking bitch.
Turns out much better. Much better.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Like, let's just be totally honest. Oh my God. Yeah. All this protein bar is bad. Yeah. Like,
they're not bad, but it's like,
it's not the same.
What if chocolate bars had farts in them?
Yeah. And what if it wasn't all good? What if chocolate bar was much like reality? Yeah, parts of this are disappointing.
All right. One sec. You talk for a second. I've got my mouth full.
Oh, that's the bet. I want you to include that. Ladies and gentlemen, our final match on this tribute to Sabu, as we say goodbye to our friend, the homicidal, the genocidal, the suicidal, crazy-ass maniac, the human highlight reel himself, Mr. Kratom, Sabu. And the final match is with Joey Janela. I don't know why we all hate Joey Janela. I can't remember, but I'm cool with it. He seems like a guy that you are talking about Blink-182 and liking them in an ironic sense. And then he's like, no, they're like the best band in the world. And you're like, oh, this conversation is over. And then he suddenly pivots and he's like, and I didn't get any vaccines. And you're like, yeah, that's what I fucking thought. I don't know I have no idea what the logic of this match was. I don't know why they needed it to be barbed wire. Like,
because it's Sabu and it's Joey Janela and it's Game Changer Wrestling, and this is the thing is like,
because if they didn't do it that way, Sabu may not have died. He may not have died within the month. That's the thing. Let's just fucking call it out. If they had been remotely safe, Sabu would be living until 61 or 62, or like
he did die like 3 weeks after this match. Let's not. This match is April 18th, 2025. Sabu wins against Joey Janela, and then life beats him.
Well, Joey Janela got he got his heat back. I didn't realize, Dylan, you were against getting your heat back.
Hopefully Joey Janela does an Ox Baker type gimmick.
I mean, yeah, it's Game Changer Wrestling. It's CZW minus the unseemly porno connections, so nothing's gonna get rid of this company, baby. Like,
but it's like all the fucking deathmatch characters. It's like a guy in all black who's like his character is he's like I'm.
It's basically
you need ECW where it's like this guy's name is Balls Mahoney. He thinks he is testicles. Also, he hits people with chairs. Like you need specific. Like within your organization, not everybody can just have the barbed wire bat. You need one guy who does that, and then another guy. It's like the other guy uses a sword or whatever fucking weird shit.
It's the difference between Slayer and Cannibal Corpse. Is Slayer every once in a while in the song will just literally slow it down and go dee dee, and then but Cannibal Corpse is just.
Yeah, and then they get Tim Allen to sing. Yeah,
that's exactly what I was gonna say. Tim Allen, by the way, is doing stand-up in L.A., and if the word is to be believed for various comedy club staff, same personality as always. Not fun. Really enjoys just leaving his car places in Hollywood is apparently a big Tim Allen move. Like, he literally is just like, I park here, and they're like, in someone's driveway, and he's like, like,
I'm a man. Men are dumb. Whatever. I do this because I get to.
I just want to.
Here's some info about the Sabu Joey Janela match. This is his retirement Slam Wrestling shoot interview. He says this is what he said 4 years ago now. Sabu, I'd definitely get back in the ring for Brock Lesnar. He's 56 at this point. I'd love to wrestle him, especially if it was my final match. Would be a worse idea than this. It would just be Brock Lesnar throwing him on the concrete and he'd die and he'd be like, I'm in Saskatchewan now, and my wife sucks the piss out of my dick. She don't get the cum. And then Sabu's just like twitching because he's got no head anymore. Like, now my daughter's gonna fucking kick him. Kick him, Brittany, or whatever her name is.
I disagree because here's the thing you're not considering. If they had just asked, I think they would have got Brock Lesnar, because keep in mind, like, I know Brock Lesnar is retired, and what that means is his wife is making him not appear on TV, because Brock Lesnar definitely wants to acknowledge and dispute the charges, and all they had to do was like, Brock, we will give you an open mic for 5 minutes to discuss it, and then we would have gotten, because first of all, you always do Brock Lesnar's voice wrong. We all know it's up here. First of all, I just want to let you all know that I was going to have sex with that lady, but I had too many delicious Bud Lights before I did, which makes me cool. My new personality is I'm into grilling, and I'm going to grill Sabu. And then they, boom, boom, boom. You could see it. It would be so fun. And then I assume Brock Lesnar would shoot him and be like, that black guy was, you saw it, that black guy was rushing at me. And they're like, wait, what? And he's like, yeah, this is what happens when I don't have corporate overlords over me. Now, time for me to read my book of political letters. Dear Winston Churchill.
I think Sabu's idea of what his legacy is the barbed wire matches, which is why he does this, because that's where he really makes a name for himself. Yeah, he really makes a name for himself in FMW.
The tables. No, yeah, but in the FMW, as before, it's barbed wire, is all tables. The big thing he's doing in FMW, and then he brings to American indie wrestling, is he fights a guy for a little bit, and then either he puts the guy through the table, or after he beats the guy in the ring, he'll just dive through a table where you're just like, yeah, man, you don't need to do this for 100 people in Wichita.
But it's more accessible to him to do something that he did in his prime, is the barbed wire matches versus the table, which he can't do the table, I guess. But I mean, at one point in this match, he takes one of the harshest bumps I've ever seen a man take. Yeah. So there's such a long interview with Joey Janela really breaking down how he murdered Sabu, which is good.
Oh my God, Joey Janela! But there's nothing more. Nothing more was tweeted out by a shirtless man crying than his that interview was actually days after the match. And no, I didn't give him substances. Yeah, I went to a smoke shop and bought him kratom, but I was smart enough to leave it somewhere, and then he picked it up, so I'm covered legally.
Oh, obviously there is
thinking about trying kratom, by the way, and this has made the decision for me. The answer is I'm already on it.
Ooh.
This podcast brought to you by kratom.
We should do advertisements for debilitating drugs. Do you want to get addicted to something? Don't get addicted to exercise. Get addicted to morphine.
I know that everyone out there is thinking, I miss the days of doing cocaine before fentanyl got injected into some of the powders I enjoy. Well, how about this, pussy? Just do fentanyl. Build yourself up a tolerance. Start small, work your way up. Listen, opioids bung you up, so make sure that you have a couple of fiber gummies before you take a little fentanyl, then put on some jazz and just really make some plans that are never going to come to fruition. Oh, I got work on Monday. Don't worry, you're going to be losing that job. You're on fentanyl now.
Joey Janela match starts. Ring announcer looks like your brother that you keep on asking to get a job and will not do it.
This ring announcer looked like every guy that you are like, hey, I met this guy at an open mic, and you're like, Dylan is the coolest guy. Worst taste in Friends. And that guy's like, hey, man, I got a bunch of menthol cigarettes, but they're loose in this grocery bag. Like, yeah, that
sounds like a fucking cool guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2011, bro. I am going to smoke those.
He's Sabu's in a white suit with a chain and no shirt on for some reason, because he's 16. He's Italian.
Dressed like the Sheik. He's dressed like the Sheik, is what it is.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, that was the Sheik's retirement attire.
Because, oh, that's cool.
Isn't it? Is it?
Yeah. He's paying homage to his uncle who was smart enough to not do these matches.
He's paying tribute to his uncle who invented hardcore wrestling by throwing fire in people's faces and posing with a knife in his mouth and doing no wrestling.
That sounds great. Fire, stab, done.
Fire, stab,
one of my notes is just, why is this happening?
Yeah, that was my main note is, why is this happening? Why do I have to watch this? Why is this so long? Like, first of all, like I forgot. First of all, that when you have to say this sentence, thank God the Sandman came out and then got lost for a while, because that gave Sabu...
He did get lost. He got lost. Also, the Sandman may have a hernia.
That's exactly my
His stomach is so big that I'm like, that's a hernia.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I could think of. Like, that's the hernia you get from, you have such a persistent smoker's cough that slowly it herniates you. Did you know about this? That was one of the things.
No.
I remember reading that in 2020, and I was like, I'm quitting these things. I'm not smoking so much that I have to have bowel surgery.
I think maybe when this match should have been called off was when Sabu needed a chair to get into the ring.
Yeah, it's crazy. He teases a bunch of spots that, like, he thinks are like, oh, maybe I'll do them. And the entire crowd and me at home is going like, hey, Sabu, whatever you do, let's not do that spot. Hey, buddy, how about you just sit in that chair? Let's sit down in that chair. I'm going to bring you some Kratom lemonade that I've heard about from the host of Behind the Bastards. I don't really know what's in it, but seems like you're going to like it, my little druggy pal, my little druggy friend.
Yeah. At one point, Fonzie interferes, and he gets thrown into barbed wire.
For no reason. Also, it's one of the greatest interferences I've ever seen. You hear the whistle, everyone gets excited. That guy gets fucked off into some barbed wire. That's done now. Like, it's just like,
yeah. Oh, yeah. You think it's weird to see a 60-year-old guy in barbed wire? Well, here's a 78-year-old guy in barbed wire.
He's 67. I looked up Bill Alfonso's age. Also,
that's fucking great. A 67-year-old man. What do we expect of wrestlers? It used to be a big deal when Dusty Rhodes would shake his dick a bit and do an elbow, and everyone would be like, "That's a lot for Dusty Rhodes." And Fonzie's like, "The barbed wire, the barbed wire." I don't really want to stab me with a fucking pen, you fucking queer. Better stab me.
Understand, this guy had to go to the Social Security office.
that's
and literally it's like, that guy's my check, they paid me in cigarettes.
It wouldn't fuck with my check? No, it won't? Okay, stab me, motherfucker. Joey Janela, give me my money, Joey Janela, you fuck.
Bill, I told you 100 times, I'll pay you immediately after the match. I showed you the money. I just wouldn't give you the money because you kept saying you were going to leave with the money and no show. That's my gimmick. I do gimmick.
That's my gimmick, you fuck. So face first.
That we're being real. Go ahead.
This match for Sabu is essentially two moments. And the first moment is him getting thrown into the spider barbed wire thing, which is crazy. And I thought that was the bad bump he took.
So did I.
And
That's
then
what I thought
he
too.
gets whipped into this barbed wire board, and he just falls out of the ring onto the barbed wire board, and there's this fucking just block of blood in his lower back because it gets when he gets thrown into the barbed wire board, he's going so fast it just rips out of his back, and everyone catches on him, and everyone obviously goes, "Are you fucking okay? You're a senior citizen."
Yeah.
And he goes "Get out of my dick," or whatever.
That's when he's knocked out. He's knocked out for a while, and luckily
Jesus.
the way that they structure.
Luckily, they wake him up.
Luckily, they have Sandman come out, and Sandman gets fully lost.
Yeah. Well,
hey, what the fuck? I woke up about a wrestling match. Bear in mind, they didn't know Sandman was there.
I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, Sandman's pouring. Oh, he's peeing.
Just also, when someone's name is Hack, what's your wrestling name? Sandman. What do you want me to call you? Hack. Is that your real name? I mean, I don't have one.
He's got a brand new Sandman shirt that I'm sure sold very well that night, and Sandman is the most war ready of the ECW guys as far as here's how I'm gonna age. I'll do my intro, I'll drink 6 beers, I'll pour some beers into verifying they're underage, then giving them the beer, and then of course I will just fucking Do my cane shot. He does it with one hand, which I was like, is his other hand not work? But he was like, how can I smoke? You can't do your moves while you smoke.
That's exactly what he was doing. Also, what you're not considering is how definitely hammered the Sandman was. Like the Sandman,
like real deal hammered. Yeah.
Sandman had it's afternoon and we're at the cottage drunk, and the kids are not here. Like Sandman was. Let me actually tell my wife about that stripper drunk. Like, you know what I mean? Like.
These two guys come out. I forgot. I don't get their names. I'm very sorry, but these two actual wrestlers come out who are actual.
No idea who these guys were.
Deathmatch guys. Like they stab Joey Janela in the head with skewers. They seems like their whole thing is that they want to. Yeah, they just want to ruin Sabu's last match. I think it's actually
fellas. You've been foiled by logic. You've been foiled by logic and time. Logic and time ruined Sabu's last match. I agree. I think it's better if a better deathmatch participant would have been like, it's a deathmatch and it's Sherry Martel versus the Fabulous Moolah. Then I'm like, what the fuck is this going to be?
One person, because they're both actually dead?
Like the thing with death matches, that's the thing. It's just two guys taking their ashes out of their urns and throwing at each other. Oh, I got some.
Oh yeah, did you pick up on this about the Sandman?
I don't think I did.
He was in sandals.
I didn't notice. Was he in sandals?
He was in sandals. He had sandals.
That's a fucking king. You're going into a barbed wire match.
I didn't change my shoes before I left my house. I just kind of left. My wife doesn't know I'm here.
Here's what I
so he was gonna mow the lawn and do that. Exit my wife.
Sandman has been to a lot of funerals where everyone was in jeans, a t-shirt, and a winter coat. Two, and this is very important. Sandman is the kind of alcoholic where it's his kidneys don't fully work, so his body accumulates fluid. So his feet expand throughout the day. So that's why he's not wearing shoes. It's because it's the nighttime. So his feet are fully swollen. So we're not doing shoes no more.
I hope that you know that for a fact.
I don't know that for a fact that is what is happening, but as someone who has been blessed with having a bunch of friends with drinking problems who have had that effect, that's what it is.
Well, that sounds fun.
Yeah, it fucking is.
Hey, in my house. I'm getting sucks.
Exit family court. Ask the judge for some cash.
There were 1,700 people here. Sabu's Barely Legal match had 1,100. If you're gonna this is the thing. If you're gonna do a final match that is what you want to represent who you were, I just think for the viewer, I think it would make a lot more sense to do that final match 20 years ago for Sabu. Even 10 would have been great.
Yeah. Here's the problem though with Sabu's 10 years ago, Sabu was living in an RV with a Japanese woman and giving some of the most incoherent shoot interviews you have ever heard, and that is a competitive area.
Oh yeah, was that when he would have that lady who was dressed up like the genie everywhere?
Yeah, I think that sounds right. Because the thing you have to remember about Sabu is also when Bill Alfonso became his manager at Barely Legal, he also took over managing Sabu's finances. Sabu is a level of carny that is very uncomfortable. It's like, you're my manager. Nah, my guy smokes crack and like S&M. Yeah, manage my books. Yeah. Figure out where my finances go.
Your books are all going to be invested in cigarettes for me.
Hey, I bet you a lot of shares in the Rothman Company. What's that? Makes cigarettes.
That's about you, a bunch of shares in auto. I picked a bunch of Jew names.
I don't know why.
Don't worry, you got a bunch of money.
Samuel, this is a lot of pressure on my shoulders. Polly pays me $25 because I can only comprehend numbers that have 2 and 5 in them.
I asked some guy if he was a Rothschild. He said, yes, I gave him $700. You're fine.
Yeah, fuck, okay, here's the thing, Sabu. Here's the bag. The bag is a mattress. I put all your money in a mattress. I've hidden the mattress somewhere in a hotel. No one will find it. It's a perfect investment. We all know.
The only way to get money from me is if a lady sucks my dick, then I give her 50. That's how sex works.
There is a woman who had a threesome with Bill Alfonso and Todd Gordon, and that woman I assume, has never stopped just being like, Oh, I need to start drinking. She was sober, too, in my version of events. She was a sober person. She was like, look, I'm here to do something weird. Take it off.
All right, John. That is it now.
So, to conclude, Joey Janela killed Sabu, and the match
And
was
he loved
so
it.
good, I'm
And it
fine
was
with
easy and fun for him.
He loved it. It was fine. Joey Janela. I don't know why Jim Cornette hates him, but I do.
I know why Jim Cornette hates him. It's because he's not actually that good at wrestling, and he kind of got by being a promoter of a thing that Jim Cornette hates, which is wrestling is fun and silly, but also death. It's like everything Jim Cornette hates about wrestling is Joey Janela personified, where it's like, hey, I'm not only am I 5'10", not only am I 5'10", but I also run my own company. What's my company? Everything's funny and also very violent with stabbings. So it's like everything that he hates.
I'm going to say this one last thing. How am I only this week finding out that Joey Janela and Enzo Amore almost had a fist fight at a Blink-182 concert? Which one of you fuckers betrayed me and not alerted me to this? I ask so little of the cum monkeys. When two wrestlers end up fighting at a Dashboard Confessional reunion concert, I want in.
John, thank you so much for doing this with me. Next week, we're doing Abyss versus Raven. All of the matches will be listed in the description for this episode. Please rate, review, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of your day, evening, night, morning, afternoon.